Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. And apologies for the belated start to the show tonight. We were having just a smidge of technical difficulties. I think that the deep state has come for Donald Trump and come for us all.
Yeah, there we
Yep.
are. We've got
So there
levels.
we go. Yes. So welcome to the show where we are two comics who solve problems. And one of those problems tonight was starting on time and with my Skype working. So we're doing this on my phone. I kind of feel like MacGyver. Is that too old of a reference?
No, I still get the MacGyver references, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure our millennial audience is like, "What's he talking about?"
But I
But
love how
welcome
you
to
try to claim MacGyver level status where all you did was you didn't somehow create a battery and a bomb using a piece of foil from chewing gum and a cactus. You used your phone.
yes, but I also had to locate the
Your
proper
phone.
stand to hold my phone
Ah,
and turn it laterally the correct way to capture the right image. So there's a lot of
okay.
hustling going on, and I tried to reboot the internet, but I don't know if that worked.
Yeah.
So that's
That
just
would
like
be a mid-season episode of MacGyver. There's no way that would be the season opener or the ender. Like, my God, what are we gonna do? Quick, find a stand for a phone. That's
there's
middling.
not really much need for MacGyver anymore because now, if you're in a situation you didn't know what to do, you'd be like, "I'm sure there's a YouTube video about this."
Yeah.
The whole show would be ruined, as all things have been by the internet. But
Hello.
so sorry for the late start. This is where Steve and I, as comics, will solve all your problems. We solve the world's problems. Sometimes we solve our own technical problems. If you've got problems you want to send us throughout the show, do send us a tweet, message on all the message boards. This is on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitter. If we are about to, as we've now started, if you'd like to share it, if you're watching on Facebook, that's a great thing to do. And always, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's where we're really trying to pump up the stats, as it were. So,
Yeah.
and throughout the
Bump up the
show, if you like
stats.
us and you think, oh, I'd like to help these guys so they don't have technical problems in the future, feel free to buy us a coffee. So that's something you can do. You can contribute. We can't spend the money anywhere. We can't get coffees anywhere or drinks, but we will accept your kind donations.
Yeah, and
So,
that money will go towards one of our mobile data bills,
yeah,
and it won't be
exactly.
mine. So
I've got teenage children. Let's not talk about it.
awkward. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So
So Steve's going to kick us off. You've got the first problem for us tonight, Steve.
yeah, I wanted to fix the problems with America because I'm sure at some point you're going to be talking about this. But I thought let's lead in with your previous owner. Let's see what a Brit thinks about it because it's been an interesting time when you look at what's been happening with the election over there. We started to get some results when the Times gave us this headline: "History calls as Biden heads for White House," and that makes sense because Biden went to school with history, so they were just having a call and a catch up. They got a lot of things to churn over. But then things, I mean, they're not really sorted yet. There's been claim and counterclaim about who actually can say they've won and who hasn't said they've won and who has won. For example, Donald Trump said that Joe Biden shouldn't wrongfully claim the presidency, says Trump.
Yeah.
And that headline was 2 days after Donald Trump had tweeted, "I won this election by a lot." And that was so wrong that even Twitter had to say, "Whoa, you might want to check some actual facts there." Yeah, and I don't think we need to say that Donald Trump is wrong. Donald Trump says he won the election by a lot, maybe, but not by as much as Joe Biden, and that's maths, and that's probably not his strong suit. So I understand why it's a bit messy over there. It was so interesting that as the stats, because we did the overnight coverage. And at
Yeah.
some points during the overnight coverage, it kind of looked like Donald Trump was going to do well out of this. And as soon as the tide started to turn, the tone changed. He did a press conference. We got a still from one of the news networks where Donald Trump was pointing out it depends which votes you count as to how well he's doing. He said, if you only count the votes for me, I win. I think that's what he was saying. That was the basic take-home point. Then he got really grumpy on social media. He was tweeting, "The observers were not allowed into the counting rooms. I won the election. I got 71 million legal votes. Bad things happened." And this is my favourite things. Bad things happened which our observers were not allowed to see. How do you know that something happened if you couldn't see it? Or Donald Trump just went Schrodinger on this. Like this is deep. This is quantum. This is like, don't open up that ballot box. There's a cat in there that's half dead. That is the most philosophical thing I've ever heard him get stuck into. But then news networks started to say, look, Biden has won. We got the news that apparently Trump was in denial after hearing the news that Biden will replace him while at a golf club. Not the first right-wing leader to end his reign in a bunker. And I thought I'd chuck that joke in. I know a few people have done it, but I did it so early on the internet that quite a few people were tweeting saying I did it first. I mean, it doesn't mean it's not an obvious joke, but I'll claim it, goddammit.
Yeah.
But why? Because I understand a bit of history. I know a little bit about Hitler, and that's why that joke happened. And I think knowing a little bit about history can be quite useful, and that's my other solution for America, given that in America, the news networks were claiming that fireworks were being set off in the UK because we were so happy that Joe Biden had won. Now, little issue of Guy Fawkes. That is just some sweet timing. I mean, like, how self-obsessed. Only a country whose national sporting event is known as the World Series could be that self-obsessed to be like, those fireworks must be totally for us. I mean, next thing, when America finds out that we're cooking Yorkshire puddings, they must think we're doing it to mock Trump's physique. There are other reasons than you, America. Other reasons than you. So the news started to settle in. We heard of the Biden bump with stock markets starting to improve because of the election results. And let's not get carried away with that, because while financial markets might be doing all right, think of the poor satirists. We're losing Donald Trump, and all we're left with is Joe Biden. What jokes can you make about Joe Biden? He's a bit old. Who's with me? Like, all we can do is jokes like pretending he's so old he went to school with history. That's how difficult it is for us now. Send money. Please send help. We've got no one to make jokes about. So, thankfully, all of that news is a mess. But thankfully, we can find out more about news coming out of America that's linked to the election that's to do with animals. And for that, we can now cross over to our American news reporter over there. Hello.
Hey there, Steve.
So, animal news. What you got?
While it looks like Joe Biden will be moving into the White House, his dog, Major, will be going with him, becoming the first ever rescue dog to live there.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, he must be loving it, but imagine the look on the faces of the other dogs that were in the pound. They must be like, oh, how the hell did you get that lucky?
Yeah, it's the same look that's on the faces of the women who were on offer with Melania.
What?
What?
Never mind. Okay. So, does Donald Trump have a dog?
No, the Donald did not have pets, so this sees the return of dogs to the White House.
Okay, that'll be nice. And so there's something in the White House that will be lying around all day, not really understanding what's going on and just thinking about food.
Exactly as it's been for the last 4 years with Donald Trump in there.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the most obvious joke, but we got there eventually. So yeah, that's my Brit take on what's been happening in your home nation.
That's Britastic. Well done.
Britastic. We've got some messages coming in on this.
Just before we get to the messages, could you take me through that that American accent again that was your correspondent had there?
Yeah, it's close enough, isn't it? Really struggled with Melania, but I only had one take. So plus I pitch shift the voice, which really stretched out some of the vowels as well, but I was trying to make it sound less like me. Although I was really happy about adding that fake thing with the live in the corner and the thing on the bottom. I've made that as a template, so that's going to be happening a lot.
That's just done now.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that guy. Well, we could talk about this off air, but the other plan was to use news reporters from actual news channels that have got masks on and just revoicing it, but it'd be the same bad accent. Let's be honest.
Yeah, the idea's good.
Mark says Trump did have a soft brain simpering pet. It was called Eric. Not you. That's rude. That's his son, I think.
Because I'm having technical difficulties today. I'm just going to try and fix something else. Well, you do the comments. I'm trying to fix some things here still.
Okay. So Mark says, Joe Biden, the first US president sponsored by Werther's Originals. There we go. That's what we're talking about. There's going to be lots of these jokes about the fact that Joe Biden is a bit old, but not that much older than the guy who was running against. Math or maths? Good point. Either way, I don't think Donald Trump was good at any of them. Utah on YouTube says, We were just going to bed. We thought Donald had got you both, Fred and Olive, in an old folks home. So yeah, I mean, there is a chance that maybe he's trying to scupper the freedom of the press over here by taking Eric's internet off. If a tree falls in the middle of the woods, does it make a sound? And does it vote Democrat? Yeah, it depends which way it was leaning. So, how's the tech looking now we've caught up to date with the comments?
I managed to have more systems fall apart, but that's fine. That's not a problem. I think I can remember the sequence of the next bit that I'm supposed to do. So
interesting. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
He's going in bareback. There's no safety net, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, this because my mouse has stopped working, and yep, everything's just gone to shit. So yeah, well, the problem I know is the problem that Donald Trump, you're being semi-positive about the fact that we allegedly have a new president-elect of the United States. But, that's not the way things really look, because I'm a Democrat, so I can never be too happy as a liberal. That's just not really what we do, is it? We always see the downsides of things. But now we have the problem of what happens if we win, but the old guy won't go away. So, I mean, normally the writing's on the wall. The way it works is, once the Electoral College looks like it's pretty much called, the loser, in this case, Donald Trump, which is what Trump means from now on, calls the guy who won. It's always been a guy. Sorry, guys, it's America. That's the way it is. Maybe Kamala will change things. And then the winner they make nice. Even Obama sat down with Trump. They had a little chat in the Oval Office. Those are traditions that go back through the lengthy history of the United States.
Yep.
To the point where we are on our 46th president coming up. Can you believe that? Wow. That is an ancient, proud country. Better than whatever shit you got going on here. But of course, that's not what Trump is doing. This is what Trump is doing. He's refused to concede. And the GOP, the Republican Party, is pretty much, it says in this article, divided. Yeah, they're just divided on how badly they want to bend over and get screwed by him. So why is Trump refusing to concede? Is it because he's an asshole? Yes. But it's also because he's claiming fraud and interference. But the question is, because that was a problem with 2016, wasn't it? We had the Russians interfering with the last election, which Trump always denied, but it was always an issue. Now we've had Mitch McConnell come forward, who's the leader of the Senate. He's a Republican, and this is what he had to say about foreign interference.
There's one aspect of last week that has gotten lost that I want to single out right at the start. By every indication, the 2020 election appears to have been free from meaningful foreign interference. There is no suggestion that our foreign adversaries were allowed to undermine the integrity of our process.
That's right, Steve. There was no foreign interference this time because there was no need. Donald Trump did enough interference on his own. The Russians were like, he got this himself, it's his time. It's a very good Russian accent. Now, Trump, I wanted to kind of be fair to Trump. I mean, he has made some statements about accepting the results of an election. Like, for example, he said this in 2016.
I will totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election.
Oh, well, that was good. I mean, to be fair, in 2016, he did have one caveat to that.
If I win.
Yep. And his supporters lapped it up then. They're lapping it up now. We actually have a shot of the crowd that was cheering there. Here's the crowd that was cheering.
Oh, good people on both sides.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it's a Nazi duck. To be fair, there were millions of votes cast, and there are some that are going to be found to be fraudulent. There's going to be some to be found to be dead people, but those are just the people who live in Florida. That's where they go. It's kind of like Eastbourne for the UK people. There's a lot of mobility scooters. They're golf carts because we have more room. So what do people want? Is there enough outstanding votes to change the race? Do they have evidence? Now, one reporter asked about this at a press conference.
Sounds like, do you know that fraudulent votes were actually cast, or are you simply saying we don't know because we couldn't see it?
Look, what we are asking for here is patience.
So the answer to that is no. They don't have any evidence, so they're asking for patience. They're hoping that if we wait long enough, we'll forget over Christmas what happened, and Donald Trump can just keep being president. Or maybe they can do like Putin did with that guy, where he steps down and then comes back again later. Now the thing is, they don't know about that. But what Mitch does know something about the election and the results that we've seen so far. Here we go back to Mitch in the Senate.
So it's time, let's talk about where we are now. According to preliminary results, voters across the nation elected and re-elected Republican senators to a degree that actually stunned prognosticators.
Oh, yes, I'm feeling rather stunned, because you're saying the ballots that are fraudulent and from dead people didn't count because they didn't vote for Donald Trump enough, but they did count enough for Republicans to win in other seats. So the same ballots were only half fraudulent. Because, say what you like about Democrats, but we are lazy fraudsters. We only invalidated.
Only half dead. Were those ballots filled in by cats in boxes that were both half dead and alive?
They voted for the Republicans, died, and then forgot to vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
That's how that works. Now, this is where my script is. Okay. So what do? How do we get out of this mess? We've got ballots that might not be valid. We've got they're half valid, but so we like the Republicans like the Republicans won. They don't like the fact that Trump lost. Well, who are we going to turn to solve this problem, Steve? There's only one place that can save us all, and that is, of course, Fox News.
We want every legal vote to be counted, and we want every illegal vote to be...
I just think we have to be very clear. She's charging, the other side is welcoming fraud and welcoming illegal voting. Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this. I want to make sure that maybe they do have something to back that up, but that's an explosive charge to make, that the other side is effectively rigging and cheating.
That's where we're at, Steve. They're saying shit so crazy. Fox News is cutting in to say, we can't take this anymore. I mean, that is bad. When we're relying on Fox News to save us, that's almost as bad as agreeing with Piers Morgan.
Which you've done a few times. Yeah, it's true.
It's terrible. I would have done a spit take there when the Fox News guy cut her off, but I'm already struggling with my computer equipment enough tonight. I didn't want to get liquid everywhere.
Don't spit on it. Right, if you want to get in on this with some messages, we'll get this on the screen for you. Dougie says Fox is now fake news. Oh, apparently that's all it took. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it, how fake now means disagreeing with Donald Trump? It was never one of the definitions before.
Well, just like you choose your own fact, Steve, you choose your own fake.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you do. Paul Taylor says they found a case of voter fraud this week. It was by a Trump voter who tried to register his dead mum for a postal vote. Well, who'd have thought it?
You see, they should throw the whole election out. Trump forever!
Yeah, although technically her IQ didn't drop, so maybe she should be allowed to vote. I don't know. I'm not in charge over there. Navman says, Eric, if you look over your left shoulder, a missile strike is imminent on the USA from Argentina. I think... See, that might be a lava lamp. If you got a lava lamp, you hippie, what's going on?
It's not plugged in.
We never normally get this angle of your room.
I know it's not quite and my beer sign, the torchlight's not nearly out. So definitely time to contribute to the show if you can, just to help us survive this technical disaster. And my internet still hasn't come back on.
Mark's got an improvement on my theory. Rather than it being a Schrodinger's cat style, a person being both dead and alive, and the bit that voted for Democrat is dead and the bit that votes for Republican must be alive, Mark says, or Republicans, they're already dead from the neck up. Interesting. Again, a lot of good thoughts, good comments coming in today.
Fake news.
Yeah, and Chris says, I'm waiting to see the footage of Trump being forcibly evicted from the White House, hopefully locked in his spray tan booth. That's it, yeah. Just close it, put a padlock on, wheel it out.
Well, you do that because he goes in there for at least a couple hours a day. Put him in there, lock him up, do it one of those kind of bubble things where you can't feel your motion. Ship him off to a set at Mar-a-Lago. Tell him he's still the president. Loop to 2016 results. You'll never know.
That'd be brilliant. Imagine somehow passing a law that some Fox News presenters take one for the team and turn up to a fake studio, and the rest of their life just has to be fake broadcasting to a small audience. I mean, a bigger audience than we get. So I'd take a slice of that. Yeah.
Hey, they've got all those Fox News presenters that have been fired for sexual harassment. Bill O'Reilly, a few other guys. They've got time on their hands.
Hey, earn some of that millions of pounds you were given for it. So look, you can contribute, chuck some money in the pot. It would be appreciated. The only reason this project, if it's a project, gets to carry on is that it's funded by you chucking some coins in our Ko-fi. So if you're enjoying it enough that you'd buy us a coffee, slap some of that money in the link at the bottom and share the link. Spread the love by letting people see what we're up to, even if it is done via Eric's phone. And because I restarted my computer in case that was the problem, it has totally reset my colours, which is why I look like this today. Fine.
Careful about that phrase. That can get you fired from the FA.
I think I'm talking about myself, so it's all right, but there we go.
Okay. All right.
Right, keep the messages coming through as well. I also have got a big problem to try and fix.
All right.
It's the vaccine. It should be the opposite of a problem. You'd imagine it would be, or it should just be constant good. But of course, we managed to get a problem with it. So, headline that I saw earlier today: NHS told to be ready to deploy COVID-19 vaccine from start of December. Yay! Come on, it's time to get our lives back to... What's that headline that was right next to it on the same app? Experts say, don't expect the jab in the next few weeks. Let's have a look at my calendar there, and... How on earth? Why would we expect people to agree with each other now, just when things are getting good? So we get this virus. They get the vaccine. It's 90% effective, which is more effective than I've been for a good long while.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson gave a speech, and he said that it shouldn't be taken for granted. And importantly, he said that we shouldn't slacken our efforts. And actually, this is one of those things where he's right. It's not about party, political, whatever. If you don't like Boris, you can sometimes say that what he's saying is right. He has to say to people, this potential vaccine doesn't mean you can go silly, because we know, if we've learned anything this year, is there are some massive idiots out there who would be, vaccine, oh, come round mine, I'm having a lick everything party. Whee! Like, these are the people that if their house is on fire and someone ran up and went, I've just called the fire brigade, they'll be here in 10 minutes. They'll be like, 10 minutes, brilliant, chuck some logs on, let's get some marshmallows, let's get this thing going. Whee! So those people are out there. That's the problem. So we that's the opinion over here. Boris Johnson really playing it down, saying let's hope it works, but let's not get too excited. The response from over the pond was Pence breaking silence to take credit for Pfizer's vaccine. And straight away, the drugs company pointed out that Trump wasn't involved. Well, Pfizer, you might not have taken any money directly from the American government for the research, but you're more famous for making Viagra. So let's not pretend Trump hasn't given you any money. If it weren't for Trump, you'd be hard up. And if it weren't for you, he'd be... Well, we all know where that joke's going. So, and it also means all of those snide comments and jokes about people taking Viagra, they've actually funded saving the planet. Oh my God. I'm emotional. So get out there, get yourself some product from Pfizer, be it the vaccine or the Viagra. I mean, either way, I suppose it will help people not come near you. They'll socially distance if they can see what's going on. They're not going to hug you, put it that way. So there is a vaccine. The big problem is who gets the vaccine. And there's only about a third of the population covered by how much is being bought. I'm biased. I would say people in care homes should get it straight away so I can go visit my dad. That'd be great. I should be at the back of the queue, really, because I've probably got some antibodies and I'm not particularly vulnerable, so they should do it that way. But I also know there's one group who shouldn't be getting the vaccine first, or possibly getting the vaccine at all. I think when it comes to dishing out this vaccine, it should go like this.
And how can we help you today?
Hello, Doctor. I'd like the COVID vaccine, please.
Okay, well, we'll just check your file and get you sorted in no time. And,
Oh, is there a problem?
we have to check your social media, and it says here you've been posting anti-science memes.
Well, only a little bit of...
It's all Bill Gates' fault. Don't blame it on sunshine, blame it on the 5G. Oh dear, I'm afraid you don't qualify for scientific help.
Oh, no, Doctor, please.
But don't worry, we won't just turn you away with nothing.
Oh, thank you so much.
In this bag is some lavender and a crystal, so best of luck.
I'm all up for that. If you don't like the science, you don't get to reap the benefits. So yeah, that's the state of play. I think that would solve the problem with the vaccine.
Well, I'm not necessarily opposed to a little lavender and crystal. I could use some of that to make my internet work earlier.
Yep. So get subscribed to the YouTube, share the link, will be very much appreciated, and keep some comments coming in.
Anyway, right. Yes, I can't. Well, I might be able to. Oh, no, I can't see comments now. My internet is back on, though, so that's nice to know.
Oh, good. I'll do some in the comments. So Utah says, International Biden Dog News. There's a great song called Last Night I Had a Wonderful Dream by the Majors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where the dog was rescued from? We don't know. We'll look more into that. Mark says Trump would never take Viagra. The pills are blue.
Nice.
Cool way to hang his hat in it. Medical method, says Chris. Thank you. A little bit of acting. And Paul says Viagra was an accidental side effect of one of Pfizer's previous drugs. Can they promise us it won't be an accidental side effect of the vaccine? I like the idea of that. Oh dear. If I said that. Have you got the COVID? No. But why are you still working at home only on Skype from the waist up? Different issues.
Yeah, that's right. We won't be going back to the circuit after this. This is it. I can't fit into any trousers anymore.
Yeah. Stand-up comedian. More of a sit down and awkwardly cross my legs comedian these days. But
with elastic trousers. I can say as well, thank you to Mark. He's made an extra generous coffee today, I think, out of sympathy for
the IT fail.
Yeah. Although he did make a good suggestion. I think it was him on Twitter earlier that we should, when I was wondering if we should go back to the Comics in Quarantine title, which was the original title of the show, he said maybe add it as a post-it. And I just said that was beyond our budget. So, Mark,
definitely.
We could definitely buy some post-its now.
I can show you. I bought the most expensive post-its of my life a couple of years ago because I used to do Monday night topical comedy gigs, and I used to try and write down the web address for the BBC podcast that I used to do and hand them out, and I forgot my post-it, so I went to WH Smith's and got these ones. And can I just say, these are the worst. Who even makes them in this colour? You can't read what's written on the damn thing. So we could put "in quarantine" on it, but you'd never see it. Flipping like £3 then.
Oh, you sound like a proper northerner now.
Yeah.
£3.
You can get them in the pound shop.
£3.
If there's anything you can get in the pound shop, you try and charge me more than £1 for it, you can jog on me.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you to Mark for that, and everyone else who sent us a drink. You can do that on the Ko-fi link that's there. And as we've said, you can subscribe to YouTube. Right. We've got one more problem. We'll get through here. Apologies again for the late start. We will be back on time with a freshly rebooted system on Thursday. Steve, here's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
How do you run a grift? Are you familiar with the term? Do you know the grift?
Like a con, a way of trying to get money out of people by pretending to be comedians doing a web show. I mean, by...
Yeah. Well, basically, there's a good way also to do it. And one is to run for president, accidentally win, and then lose at the next election, but still pretend that you're winning. Now, because the campaigns, I signed up for the email campaigns, or the emails from all the different campaigns, because that's the kind of nerd I am. Now, the Biden campaign, I'll be honest with you, has stopped emailing because they won. In the meantime, this is just a screenshot of the emails I've gotten from the Trump campaign in the last 24 hours. Now, you can't see there. There's literally an hour through the middle of the night. These guys, I mean, Trump is not sleeping. I'm very concerned. Now, so I got loads of these emails, and they're from all people all through the campaign. They're sitting thinking, well, what do they need money for? The race has happened. They've won as well. It's basically the same message in all of them. I think we've got a little bit of a screenshot of what's in these. Now, I was planning to read this, but I can't see it now because it's so small on my phone.
How much would you want reading? Where from?
Well, I was going to do the whole thing as a dramatic reenactment and get more and more emphatic as I went along and sort of the rant and build. I even rehearsed it, but I can just barely make it out with my glasses now. If you can come back to me for a second, Steve, and you can see how I'm trying to read this. This is me now trying to read my phone. That's what I'm doing. All right, now,
do you want to make it bigger on the screen for you?
No, that's fine. All right. Dear Eric, he's personalized this. President Trump needs your help. We're emailing you now to ask you to step up one last time. I've never stepped up for them. It's no secret that Democrats are trying to steal the election. They can't stand the thought of America rejecting their candidate, so they'll do whatever it takes. We can't let them. It reads like a movie trailer, doesn't it? We can't let them get away with it. We need your help to defend the integrity of the election. You need to increase the impact of your support now. We will increase your support by 1,000%. That's where they lost me, Steve. 1,000%. I'm done reading it now. Because the other part of it that goes further down on the next slide, I think we have this. This is where they're asking for support. They're saying if you give £20 or $20, they'll increase it by 1,000% to $220. Now, we've covered this before. If you multiply 200 by 1,000%, it's $200. No wonder he's gone bankrupt so many times. He's you do the voice. I don't do his voice. I refuse to do his voice. But an extra, you can't do that. 1,000. It's simple math. It's math. It's not maths.
Didn't we also go through this last time, realizing that they're matching your 20? So you give 20, they give 200.
But it doesn't say that.
Yeah, doesn't it?
No, this is wrong. It's wrong. Anyway, next slide. So what else is it? Oh, I can't remember. I've lost my place now. I've gotten excited. Oh, this email did surprise me, getting this one, because they're from different people. I got one from Eric Trump.
Oh, that's nice.
About his father. He had to say who he was in relationship, because I didn't know. And
is it? I imagine it's just a copy of Cats in the Cradle and just a picture of him crying.
But I was surprised to get this email from Eric because he's blocked me on Twitter. So I was like, oh, wow, Eric, I guess he's reaching out. So this was the first part of the email. It had the whole, contribute now 1,000% lie thing that I don't agree with. And then that was the first part of the email, just the image. And then you read further down the email. This is the lower part of the email that's there. It's blank. Just a big blank spot, which I guess is just the same way his father feels about him. Nothing. It's just a void of love. Now, that's so why do they do this, Steve? Why are they sending out campaign emails, even though the campaign is over, asking for money? Because they say they're trying to fight for the election, right? That's what all the emails say. Yeah. However, this news came out in the last 24 hours, which we can see here. The fund, a flurry of emails, basically the fine print, it's all about retiring Trump's campaign debt. The grift is in. 60% of the funds that they're raising will go to pay back money that is owed to Trump, mostly for hiring golf carts.
Wow.
So there we go. He's made America great again.
Do you have a problem with it, given that, conning people is bad, but conning Trump supporters?
Yes. It is. It would be hilarious, except for the fact that he's attacking the fabric of the American democracy, and it could literally lead to civil war. If you set that aside,
democracy, it's like from our point of view, it's like a teenager. You're just going through your rough years. Yeah. You got to be around for 1,000 years before you can really bed into what democracy feels like.
Yeah, and we're doing a good job of tearing it apart here in the UK anyway. But yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that it was undermining, 71 million people's faith in the electoral system, and stealing millions and millions of dollars, it would be funny.
He's taking money away from Trump supporters, which means they'll have less money to give to whoever they replace Trump with as their figurehead of the hate monger brigade for 4 years from now. One
of the supporters is my mom, and there might be a small inheritance there for me someday.
Trump's getting you. He's getting you.
That's all he does is take people's inheritance. So there we go. That's the grift.
Although Chris Curling says grift, that's a 1970s child's bike. Great reference. And then Mark says, I had an RSW11. Now, are you going to have a chat about bikes when we...
I feel like you guys aren't really listening to me anymore. I'm doing top quality satire on a fucking mobile with my computer's restarting left and right and my mouse not working.
Well, look, Paul comes up with a really interesting thing. Where are they matching your donations from? Other people's donations?
That has never been made clear to me either, because Trump hasn't put a penny in this campaign.
It will definitely be that, won't it? which is like, we could all do that. You know, give me £5 and I will match it £50 from my bank account, then we'll put them both in my bank account. It doesn't
Kind
matter
of what's happening.
And let's be honest, same thing again. Yes, it's a grift. Yes, it's a con, and there's a moral question. But this is like the Freakonomics thing. But by sending out something that only fools fall for, it's only fools who get caught by it. If you don't have the wherewithal to realise that maths is just BS, maybe you shouldn't be having that much disposable income available to you.
But these people don't. They don't have healthcare. They only have money to buy guns. And it's taken away from that.
Yeah,
and
that's yep, there we go. Let's do that. Looks like we can't buy no bullets this month because I give all my money to Trump. Seems like a win.
Now that the election's over, Walmart is selling guns again.
Oh, good.
They took them off the shelves before the election. So.
Oh, because things are so peaceful over there now, so that's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Let's have a look. More messages coming through here. All you have to do is get 10 people to match your donation. It's a flipping pyramid scheme.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying.
Silver Cloud, if Trump supporters give all his money, that'll mean less of them buy new guns. Mark's on board with this already. Yes.
We need our guns.
Make Trump supporters poor again.
They're already poor. That's the problem. Dear. I don't know. It's fine. We won. Everything's going to be fine.
We did it. We managed to get through a show using the technology and the ghosty face. I could have actually, while you were talking, changed my colours, I suppose, to my presets. But
well, you'll notice if you go back and watch the beginning of the show, I've gotten clearer since the end of the show because I realized I hadn't been prepared to use my phone and the camera was dirty. So I was sort of in a fog at the beginning of this. And at one point when you went to a headline, I cleaned the screen or the camera.
See. Yeah. Although I use my phone for filming all the sketches, and there are so many that I've started filming. I'm like, what the hell what is my ear left on that thing? Yeah.
So there we go. I mean, you know what? The show must go on. We did this. I'd say people should contribute extra for the effort that went into this.
So the link's at the bottom. If you've enjoyed the show enough that if we'd have done this on stage in one of those London gigs we used to perform in, and afterwards you'd see us at the bar and say, fancy a pint, chuck that money in the box, and it would be in the link down there. It would be very much appreciated and keeps us afloat, seeing as this is very probably the biggest source of income either of us have.
Yep.
Yeah. We can't go out and buy no guns.
I got them. That lava lamp is a gun. Right.
Color, well, does your lava lamp actually have a color to it? It just looks.
It's not on right now because there's not a plug on that wall, so I haven't. Because you can't normally see it, so I haven't bothered to plug it in.
Right.
It's an unplugged lava lamp, but with your contributions, I could buy an extension cord.
We're fundraising for an extension cord. That's all we need. Brilliant.
We'll put that as a goal on our Ko-fi page. £2.99. Let's just put the tiniest goals. Right. All right.
So we've achieved Tuesday show. Thursday, 9:00 we'll be back. But this show will be available on YouTube and the Facebook and Twitter and whatever. Wherever it is, share it. Would be very much appreciated if you could just, pop out a retweet in the middle of the night so you're not embarrassed by it. That would schedule a retweet so that you think none of your followers know it's happening. We'd still appreciate it. Send out a link to the YouTube would be pretty good. And yeah, if you could pop some money in the box, we appreciate that too.
There you go. But we do appreciate you watching. Thank you very much for that. And we will be back on Thursday.
Till then, bye.